Clutter can feel suffocating, but even the thought of tackling it sometimes can feel overwhelming too. Sometimes you just want some small changes that make your home feel a million times better. Decluttering my home was one of those changes that had a positive effect not only on my home, but on my mental health too. Because when you have less stuff to take care of, less to clean, less to shuffle around, less laundry, it all feels a bit easier to be calmer, to be a bit more present without that looming stress in the back of our minds. So I'm gonna share with you 26 things that you can declutter this year that sound tiny, but they're gonna make a big difference in your home. And if you want the full checklist of things you can declutter and ideas of what to tackle in your home next, then my free decluttering checklist is waiting for you in the description box. Your wallet contents. It is impressive the amount of stuff that can accumulate in our wallets. So have a little clear out, get rid of all those old receipts you don't need anymore. I used to have a much bulkier wallet and I have swapped to a very thin one that only holds my driver's license and the 2 cards that I use to buy stuff, and that's about it. I will sometimes have some coins in there as well, but I have kept it so simple and I have found that I don't need to carry with me anything else. So that's such a simple thing you can simplify to make a change. One thing that's gonna make a change the second that you wake up every single day. And when we wake up every single day, what we're gonna see is our bedside table. So clear that out. Let's clear that bedside table of all the mugs, books that maybe you've already read. You can move those around and make space for what you're currently reading, any expired hand creams or plasters or random things that linger in our bedside table. Then we have extra bedding that we never use. I used to have a linen cupboard full of bedding and I always used the same one that was on the bed. I would wash it and put it straight away back on the bed, and then all of the other ones would linger in my closet. So nowadays I do keep the one that's on the bed and a spare one just in case, because we do have small children, but that's it, no more than that. So 2 sets of bedding per bed, that is plenty for us. And that means our airing cupboard is very clutter-free, there's not a lot in there, and it's easy to keep it tidy. And while we're in the airing cupboard, excess towels is also a good one, because we truly do not need that many towels. I think it can feel so easy to feel like towels are such a big deal. What if we have this massive spill? And yes, that might happen, but in reality, we do not need that many towels. We can probably get by with 2 per person, maybe some guest ones if you have guests a lot, but that's what we do in our family. Shower products that are empty or even like a tiny bit left in the bottom, but you're not using them anymore, those are good products to get rid of. It will keep your shower clutter-free and it's easier to clean, and there's not gonna be bottles that get all grimy in there. And while we're in the bathroom, it's a good chance to have a look at any makeup that we don't actually use. My rule is if I haven't worn it in the past year, I probably won't use it in the next year, and it might also be expired by now. Skincare that broke you out, skincare that you don't love using, that maybe made your skin feel really dry or itchy, or it just didn't work for you, that skincare you can let go of. Or if you have anything that you've purchased but you haven't used that, maybe you can donate or sell it, or give it away to someone else if it's not something you see yourself using. Because I know sometimes we get tempted in the shop, but then once we get home we realize it's actually not that special and we're not even excited to use that product. So any skincare that's just lingering there, this is a good time to get rid of it. Nail polish that you haven't worn this year. I know I used to have so many of those nail polish bottles in my bathroom and I would never use them. I always had 1 or 2 that I really loved that I wore on repeat. And then one day I realized, why am I keeping all of the rest of them and why am I buying more when I just use the same ones on repeat? And it's the same like pale pink kind of color that I use every single day, and then everything else just had to go. Jewelry that you haven't worn in the past year. If we haven't worn it for a year, that means we're probably not very keen on that piece of jewelry. Now, all of the other products previously mentioned, like makeup and beauty and all of those things, you might not be able to sell or get anything back from, but with jewelry, you can usually get something back from decluttering it. So it's a good chance to sell it, get some money back from it, and maybe use that money to save it or use it for some experiences or something else that brings value to your life. Clothes that don't fit you, clothes that are uncomfortable, all of those items can easily go because there's no point in keeping them unless you're maybe in that in-between phase where you're postpartum or you're in between sizes. Then maybe you want to keep some of those items, but you can keep them stored away perhaps. And then in your daily wardrobe, keep the items that actually fit you, because when you open it in the morning, it's gonna be a much nicer experience if all the items in there are things you actually love wearing and that fit you right. Shoes that you haven't worn in the past year are shoes that can probably go, and you're probably not going to miss them. I think if I haven't worn this pair of boots for the past year, I am probably not going to wear it next year. And especially when we have access, we have so many shoes, sometimes so many trainers, we just don't get a chance to wear them all. And if they are in good condition, you can always sell them and get some money back, and someone else can actually get use out of them. Oh, and your shoe cupboard is going to thank you as well, so it's not going to be piling and cluttered up in there. Hats, that's just gather dust. I know we can accumulate so many hats, and in here I'm including all of the gear like hats, mittens, scarves, caps, all of those things. It's a good time to have a look through and declutter anything that you're not really using. I also used to have sunglasses in excess. I used to think I needed different colored sunglasses and all these different styles, and I realized I just need one good pair of sunglasses and that's it. So just have a look through yours and see if there are any that you're actually not very keen on, you're not wearing, and you can just declutter those. The handbags that we keep just in case it goes with an outfit, but we never actually wear. I used to have so many more handbags and backpacks and crossbody bags and all these different types of bags, and then I realized I actually wear one bag every single day almost, and so I do not keep a huge stash of handbags anymore. And you know, everybody's different, we all have different lifestyles, we have different preferences, so you might want to keep more, but it's just having a look through and see if there's anything you don't really want in there. The plastic bag of bags is something a lot of us probably have stashed somewhere. I know I used to, and I realized I do not need to keep so many bags. Like, yes, bags can be helpful, but we do not need 30 bags in one go. So I keep a few reusable bags. We have maybe 3 or 4 under our stairs that I take to the shops when we go there, or you know, if I'm going shopping, I'll try to take my own bag with me. We don't really keep plastic bags anymore, so I try my best not to buy a plastic bag when we do go shopping, so I'll try to remember to bring my reusable one. But if for some reason we do get something in a plastic bag, then we'll always recycle it. You can take it to a big supermarket. Big supermarkets usually recycle these bags and they turn them into bin bags or other things, so we just take it to our local Tesco's. That kitchen gadget you haven't used this year. We tend to think that having a lot of kitchen gadgets is gonna make cooking so much quicker, so much easier, and don't get me wrong, there are a few items in the kitchen that obviously speed things up and they can be helpful, and you probably know already what those items are in your kitchen. But if there are any other items you have in there that you're not really using, then you can probably just get rid of them. Also, mugs we don't use. I don't know why I felt the need to have like 30, 40 mugs at some point. We do not need that many. I think we probably have about 10 or 12 mugs. We're a family of 4 and we do enjoy hosting people over, so we do have guests, but I have never found myself in a place where I didn't have enough mugs to serve everybody at the table. So we truly do not need as many mugs as we think. And sometimes when we feel like our kitchen is too small, it's not too small, we just might have too many things in there. Other things we can look at in the kitchen is extra spatulas or utensils. So, you know, spatulas are useful and I do use my wooden ones a lot, but sometimes there are things in there that we just don't use, we don't need for our cooking, and so we can make some space for the things that we do really want to use. And also spices you don't cook with. I know I have bought in the past a lot of spices for different recipes, and sometimes I still feel tempted. I'll try a spice and then I realize we don't like that, but we do end up keeping that spice for ages. So it's a good time to just go have a reset of the kitchen, see if there are any that you don't really like, you don't use in your cooking. I do that regularly in mine. We can just declutter anything like that. Any decor items that we don't use, you know, those decor items that you have stashed away in the loft, in the garage, in a shed. I used to have those, and I've realized if I have all of these decor items but I haven't found a place to put them in my home, I probably don't have a space for them. So I just decluttered a whole bunch bunch of them. And I realized I do like to keep my decor simple, especially in this busy season of life with little children and, limited time to do dusting and cleaning surfaces. If I only have a few things out, because I do like, some pretty things to look at, but if I only have a few that I really enjoy, then it makes it so much easier to clean and keep my home tidy with minimal effort, which is what I'm looking for in this season of life. It's also a good time to look through your car and see if there's any rubbish in there. So empty wrappers, crumbs. I know I need to go hoover my car. I'll probably do it this weekend, but so many things can accumulate in our cars. So it's a good time to have a clear out, hoover it up, give it a wipe, and make it all fresh for your next car trip. Also, looking at cardboard boxes, we tend to keep a lot of boxes. I know we used to a lot more because we feel like a cardboard box is useful. Yes, it is, but not when we have 50 of them stashed in our garage. And so we try to get rid of the boxes because we truly do not need to keep them all. And sometimes I'll give them to my kids to play with, like to make little crafts and play with them in creative ways before we recycle them. So they get some extra purpose there, but we really do not need to keep all of the boxes anymore. Any kids' clothes that they've outgrown, this is a good time to get rid of them because you really do not want to keep so many items that they just don't fit into anymore. Because when you open their little wardrobe and you want them to get ready for the day, if there are tons of things you have to shuffle through to find the right size, it just makes things harder, and we do not need that as parents. So let's make things easy on us and just keep in there things that actually fit them. So every morning it's easy to get them dressed, it's quick and as painless as possible. Baby gear, if your baby is no longer a baby. Unless you want to have more children, and obviously you might want to keep some items for future children, then that can be stored away in a loft, in a garage. But in your daily areas, like your rooms that you use on an everyday basis, it's really important, I think, to keep the items that we actually use right now. So anything that they've outgrown, it can go into storage or it can be donated, sold, decluttered. I also like to go once in a while through puzzles and board games, and I'll go through it with my son and see if there's anything he's not keen on playing anymore, anything that maybe they've outgrown, that's kind of too small for them, they don't enjoy anymore. Anything like that can be decluttered. And also kids' artwork and crafts. If your kids are like mine and they're very crafty, your house is probably full of little papers and crafts and things they made, and it can be so hard to declutter them. I really get it, and I do struggle with this sometimes, but we keep some special things in a memory box because I do think it's going to be nice for them to look on some of them. But they make so much, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep everything that they create. And so once in a while, we do declutter them. And I find that with the majority of the crafts they make, especially like, my son will make things out of recycling or the things that we keep like cardboard boxes. It's really exciting for them, the process of making it and playing with it for maybe a day or two. But then afterwards, it gets kind of boring and it gets stashed in their wardrobe and then they don't play with it anymore. I hope this list of things to declutter was helpful. Let me know how you're getting on with your declutter, and I will see you in the next one.